Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. I'm back here at Reeve Subaru in Tampa, Florida, and boy oh boy do we have a very special review for you. I got this 2013 Lamborghini Gallardo LP564, so that means it's got the all-wheel drive. But before we dive into this V10 supercar, let's talk about what's going on here. So believe it or not, the Gallardo is the #1 selling vehicle of all time for Lamborghini. More than the Countach, more than the Diablo, more than the Huracan. And if you go back at the early beginnings of this company, as a car company, it was all about a disagreement. Mr. Lamborghini was a customer of Enzo Ferrari's. He wanted some changes done to his own personal Ferraris that he was buying. And of course, Enzo, being the stubborn Italian that he was not hearing any of it. So Mr. Lamborghini, who, like I said, had that farm tractor company, decided, you know what, we're gonna make cars to go up against Ferrari and do it the way that he wanted it done. Fast forward to the 21st century, we have the Huracan, we have the Aventador, but you know what? 2013 was a special year, and the reason why is that's where the Gallardo got a refresh. Now, one of the main reasons why the Gallardo, I think, has been the top selling Lamborghini of all time is because this car came about when Volkswagen Automotive Group bought Lamborghini, and Lamborghini is still part of that organization, owned with Porsche, Bentley, Volkswagen, so on and so forth. Now, what's great is you're gonna get V10 power, but you're also getting some classic Lamborghini style. So let's dive in to this Gallardo LP560 and see, is this the supercar on the pre-owned market that you should be buying? Right off the bat, styling. 2013, like I said, a banner year. When this car was unveiled at the Paris Auto Show, it really just blew everybody's mind. And to be honest with you, I've never been a huge fan of the Gallardo. But on the 2013 and newer versions, I do like the styling. The original ones was a little too triangular, and I really wasn't loving the shape. But you can see that you have that very unique headlight design. Really love the way everything is blacked out on the interior. You got that projector beam style headlight, and the way that the housing just meets nicely with the front fascia. Now, yes, there's still some triangular design with this Gallardo, but they really cleaned it up. So you're gonna have these open honeycomb style vents on each corner. Everything that you see is functional. They put this piece here, this is DOT required for pedestrian safety, but all this air is gonna rush towards the front of this Lamborghini. Of course, when we get to the center here, you have that classic badging, that Raging Bull, so much history, so much performance. Obviously, growing up as a kid in the 1980s, the Lamborghini Countach, bright red, was on my wall, even the Lamborghini Diablo. But definitely this 2013 Gallardo following in those footsteps. Some people don't call it a true Lamborghini because it's not an Italian engine and an Italian body, but you know what? Can't lie with the performance numbers. I love in this center section the way the lower lip extends out, that flat black. Of course, we're trying to stop air from going underneath the car, and we're rushing everything into those vents for cooling. The way the hood comes down so nicely really combines some of the older Lamborghini style with this 2013. Now, when we get up onto that front, you can see just how low it is. It's a front-mounted trunk. You have that angular cut that comes right towards the windshield. And then as we come around the bend here, what are we working with? First of all, before we get to the wheels, look at the style here. Love the way they have that aerodynamic efficiency, plus it gives you such sexy design. Now, when we go to wheel and tire, this was another revised area. So this is new for 2013, 19-inch wheel. Love the gunmetal gray, the machined aluminum with that Lamborghini badge in the center, 235 on the width, 35 series sidewall. You're gonna get two-piece cross-drilled and fully ventilated rotors and a nice Brembo 6-piston caliper, gloss black with the Lamborghini script. It's interesting because these wheels look like they're off a new Huracan. So I'm really liking the way that even though this vehicle is 7 years old, still looking very modern, just like the modern Huracan. Now, as we come down the side fender, you can see the way it kind of drops down. Love the way they shape the side mirrors. We have a carbon fiber rear side sill. And then of course, we're gonna get these rear vents, same honeycomb design, gonna rush air. You can see the LP564 badge, all-wheel drive. You even have some venting up top as well. And of course, this being a Spider, that convertible top will fold down and give you a nice clean look. Now, when we get out to the rear, before we talk about what's up top, let's talk about what's down below. So we're still working on a 20-inch wheel. Now we're talking about 295. Now, if you're wondering, well, Joe, this is all-wheel drive. How come we have wider tires out back? It's a 30-70 split. So 70% of your power is going to the rear wheels, 30% is going to the front wheels to help you claw and stick to the asphalt and the pavement. But definitely going to get a wider tire out back. Still large calipers, everything cross-drilled, fully ventilated. Love the body design. I mean, the way they even extend, like even though the vents here, they extend that line just a little further back, looks really clean. And then when we hop up onto the engine cover, you can see how everything is ventilated, nicely done, all the slots. Massive carbon fiber rear wing, looking good, matches the sills. The side sill extension is really great. And then when we get to the back, nothing but the Italian mafia business. I love the LED taillights. You can see that honeycomb design. I do wish that this was like a wire mesh instead of plastic. The plastic looks a little cheap, especially for this name, Lamborghini. So I am gonna zonk that. I wish it was a wire mesh, but this rear diffuser with the quad tip exhaust, 2 on each side, they extend out, nice circle cut with the rear diffuser to keep everything sticking to the ground. Looks absolutely phenomenal. But now we're gonna talk about what's underneath that engine hatch. All right, guys, tail end of the business model. Underneath that engine cover is gonna be a V10. Now, it's the same V10 that is sourced from an Audi R8. And here's the fun fact. The engine is actually assembled in Hungary. So it's a Hungarian-built V10 that not only winds up in a Lamborghini, but also in the Audi R8. So you're looking at 5.2 liters of V10 goodness, 542 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in about 3.6 seconds, top speed, 201 miles an hour. The car weighs 3,417 pounds, and this has a 6-speed automatic transmission. But why don't we get to the best part? If you're ready, I hope you have your tissues ready for your eargasm. If you're ready for an eargasm, I'm definitely ready to deliver one. Let's fire up this Gallardo LP560 and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2013 Lamborghini Gallardo. I know you're probably wondering, well, Joe, what is the price on this car? Now, definitely give LD a call here at Reeves Subaru for the pricing, but this one, brand new, was well over $200,000. You're getting the name Lamborghini. The one thing that is a zonk for me, not only on the Gallardo, but even on the new Huracan, no Lamborghini style scissor doors. You gotta go Aventador, you gotta go Murcielago, you gotta go Diablo, you gotta go Countach to get those. And that to me is a little bit of a bummer, but let's see what you're getting for the money. To the door panels, classic checkered flag, finish the race colors, the black with the cream white. I love the stitching. Yes, the door panel looks dated, but it does have a classic Italian feel to it. You do have super small pockets down below. You might be able to get a cannoli, maybe 2 in there. That's about it. Don't go for 3 or you're gonna get cannoli cream all over this beautiful interior. Now, when you get to the dash, I love the circular vents. Even the way they do the Lamborghini script, especially the way it's like embedded in the leather, absolutely stunning. Leather everywhere. You have 3 gauges up top, and guess what? They're in Italian. I love that, Italiano Familia. That's what I'm talking about in this Lamborghini. The beautiful, just simple round air vents. Love the stitch work. Now, going back to 2013, infotainment systems were not even close to where we're at today. This is a 5-inch system. You do have navigation. Don't even talk to me about Apple CarPlay or Android Auto or any of those features. But you can see that the actual technology, though, it's super clear, which I really do like. Now, here's where things are not going to look super clear. I'm going to throw it into reverse. Yeah. That looks like a colorized version of when we landed on the moon back in 1969 and showed that on TV. So one big step for mankind for sure, but one big back step for this backup camera. So I'm gonna put it back into drive here make it go away because I don't want to see it anymore. You got these beautiful, nice toggle switches. The only zonk is they're plastic, they're not metal. They should be metal, they look metal. Dual climate control. It's a little complicated, believe it or not, to figure out, but once you figure it out, it makes sense. Here you have some nice thin leather on your center console. We have sport and that Corsa mode. We're gonna be going into Corsa. You do have a lift system, raise or lower, top up, top down, all your switch gears right here. You got a good old fashioned e-brake, a 12 volt, and if you're bringing a drink in here, here's your 1 cup holder. You could dip your cannoli in a cup of milk back here. But what's crazy is that being a convertible, I got plenty of headroom in here. Really, really feel good. I like how high the center console comes up. But why don't you come over on the business end? I want to show you right behind the horns of this bull. All right, guys, Lamborghini business time. You can see the Gallardo nameplate there, looking good. Obviously the seats, nicely bolstered. I got those electric controls, easy to get to. Now, just like similar to a Ferrari, the footbox, and I'm gonna have Victor show that footbox, is a little over to the right. You do have a massive dead pedal. Everything is brushed aluminum down there, but just something to realize when you're driving an Italian car, they definitely have personality. Steering wheel, right out of a race car, no buttons, no Bluetooth, none of that garbage. Nice thick 10 and 2 notches there, almost 3 and 9 on the notches. The only thing that's cheap, you hear that? You know what's knocking? Plastic. And that's a little too much plastic on a Lamborghini steering wheel. So that is definitely gonna be a zonk, but it's flat bottom. I do like the simplicity of the horn button and the gauges. I absolutely are spot on the money. You have that beautiful tach, speedometer, little tiny digital gauge in there, and you can see it's actually got a white Lamborghini Gallardo in there, but everything else is analog as it should be. Super, super clear, super classic. I even love the stitch work. I mean, the stitch work goes all the way across. Here's one of those weird things with Italian cars. Reverse is all the way over here. So you have your reverse, and then of course the paddles, very similar to what was on that Bentley Continental GT, and it makes sense because Volkswagen Group also owns Bentley. Paddles, I wish they were a little bit larger. The good news is they're column mounted, so you're always gonna be able to hit them, but they seem a little small for a big raging bull. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, this guy's definitely ready, let's take this Lamborghini for a little spin. All right, guys, we left Reeves Subaru. We're in the 2013 Lamborghini Gallardo. On throttle, here we go. Oh my God. This thing, I'm telling you right now, when it shifts, it's like a bull kicking you in your back. Really, really amazing just how like direct the shifts are with this 6-speed. Paddles are a little weird, I'll be honest, because they're just so small, but they are extended all the way over to the perimeter of the steering wheel. The sound of that V10 is glorious though, absolutely glorious. On throttle. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my God, this thing. I'm driving a Lamborghini. I tell ya, if you are one of those people that are upset that that is not an Italian-built V10, you got to drive one of these because it's got a sound so glorious that any Italian would be waving the tricolore flag driving one of these. The placement and everything, the seats, they're actually fairly comfortable, to be honest with you. And they have some nice bolstering. Down below, the bolstering isn't too crazy, but up top, the bolstering's there, but you actually have some wiggle room compared to like a McLaren 570 or even a new Corvette, to be honest with you. Looking out, you got a very steeply raked windshield, which is that Lamborghini profile, that side profile. The gauges are, like I said, super clear to read and to understand. 8,500 RPM red line. Let me say that again for you. 8,500 RPM. And you're getting the all-wheel drive that's gonna keep you planted. All right, guys, here we go. On throttle. God, oh my God, talk about old school feel with this 6-speed. Wow. It just gets up and goes, and I don't know if you can see out the back, but the rear wing actually tilts up at speed, so you do have an active piece of aero back there, which is awesome as well. and that carbon fiber wing looks oh so sexy. Third gear. Let me drop it down as you hear that blip of the throttle. On throttle, here we go. You feel everything in a good way in this vehicle. And it's a Lamborghini. I mean, when you're driving it, yeah, people are looking. They see what it is, and they're curious as hell. And they want to be riding in this car with you, or better yet, driving the car. So those are the things that you get when you go the Lamborghini route. I mean, there's no arguing that. But the power delivery is so linear. The torque comes in very low. Now, if you're thinking that you're going to beat a C8 Corvette off the line, you're not. I mean, this car is 7 years old, and technology has moved on, but it's got such a personality you're just not going to find in many, many new cars today. Steering is so direct in this thing. It really, really is. All right, guys. On throttle. Ah. Here we go. Yeah. Nice, naturally aspirated power. What's wonderful about having an 8500 Redline is that it just gives you so much flexibility to where you don't have to go up and down the rev range. And that just allows you to hit your marks and really focus on the whole driving aspect rather than chasing up and down through the transmission. The gauges up top, those triple gauges, are easy to see. And I'm gonna say it again, you're in a Lamborghini. I'm in a Lamborghini. I'm just so glad to be able to share this with you. All right, guys, here we go. On throttle! Ah. Oh my God! This thing is one hell of a ride. Not only to sensations like in your chest and your gut, but also the sound and the sights and just the history behind it. I mean, how can you not be excited driving a piece of Lamborghini history? I know I am. Wow. Those downshifts. On throttle. Just pulls all the way up. All right, guys, we're on the highway, and what's crazy is that this thing drives really, really smooth. She rides really smooth, even with the expansion joints. Then you drop it down a couple, on throttle. You get up to speed real quick. Wow. This thing, she is a freaking beast with a V10. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. On throttle. Just the weight in the steering, it feels so connected. The all-wheel drive, of course, you feel like you can't do any wrong. But hopefully this gave you a nice, exciting ride in a Lamborghini Gallardo LP560. We're gonna get back to Reeves Subaru and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another wonderful day here at Reeves Subaru. Definitely got to thank LD and the rest of the crew getting us a Lamborghini. Our very first full feature of a Lamborghini on Rady's Rides. Definitely was worth the wait, and boy, oh boy, what a crazy, invigorating experience. If you're looking for that name, Lamborghini, and you want to come in at a certain price, I think this Gallardo might be right up your alley. But if it's supercars you want to keep seeing on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to give it up to Crown Vic. He wants to go get a big old bowl of spaghetti with extra meatballs. So I'll make that happen for you, Vic. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.